Freeze! Everybody clap your hands.
That's what I'm talking about, though. Like,
let's take the serious side of this first. What is upsetting, genuinely, about clapping?
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel, and thank you for joining me. So I often say that the weak is trying to take over the earth, and this girl is pretty much about to confirm that with her reasoning on why people should not be clapping.
So it's actually not just for people with anxiety, it's also people who use hearing aids. Clapping can be disruptive to that. People who have sensory processing issues. It can be very distressing and overwhelming to have those loud, sudden noises.
Freeze! Everybody clap your hands.
So that's pretty much where we at. Anybody with any type of issues with anything, we should just stop everybody from doing it just so we could protect these people and their little illness.
Say, can we please keep the chatter to a minimum? I'm one of the people who's very, very prone to sensory overload. There's a lot of whispering and chatter going on. It's making it very difficult for me to focus. Please, can we just, I know we're all fresh and ready to go, but can we please just keep the chatter to a minimum? It's affecting my ability to focus. Thank you.
Freeze! Everybody clap your hands.
Oh, baby, baby, with that ass so sweet, with a brain and stuff that you're dying to be. Sex loser.
Or illnesses or victimhood mentalities and stuff like that. That's where we're at. Do you see her hair? Her hair is purple. Who does that remind you of? And she's not American, so that basically, yeah, she looks just like a SJW American. You get what I'm saying? A TikToker. She looks like a TikToker. A woman who's spent a lot of time on TikTok, and she's filled her head with social justice knowledge, and now she wants to protect everybody, not herself. No, it's not about her. It's about the other people. You get what I'm saying? That mentality of we have to child-proof the world for the people who don't know how to deal with the world.
But it is part of our culture, isn't it, to clap? If you go to the theatre, or you go to a lecture, or you go to a performance, or you go to a gig,
Sex loser.
or you go to a gig, you would expect that people would clap.
Let's just stop right there for a minute. Let's just stop right there real quick. What reason can you possibly give us to make us decide to not want to clap at these social events that she just named?
Freeze! Everybody clap your hands. Come on, y'all.
That's the one thing I like about the BBC. I like it when Piers Morgan was there. I don't think he's there anymore, but still, I like it better. I like her. I don't know the other guy on the show, but I like it better when Piers Morgan is there. So let's see the reason this woman could possibly give us for making us stop chanting and having a good time at the games and the shows and stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. And that could be preventing people from going to those events.
So basically, people should stop having a good time so that more people will want to come to not have a good time.
which is a real shame. So if some theatres or some universities say, actually, we're going to be more inclusive and do jazz hands instead.
There go that word again, inclusive. That's the word that means that everybody should be able to participate. You get me? Nobody should make good grades. Everybody should make the same grades. You get me? Everybody should be on the same level. We should all be herded together like cattle because everybody should be inclusive. No matter what the cause. If somebody has an issue with it, then we should change everybody just so we can accommodate this one person who is not like everybody else. We should always include these people.
Okay. Quick point of privilege once again. Hi, James Jackson, Sacramento DSA, he, him.
That'd be lovely. More people could get involved.
And then what would be the penalty if you clapped?
I don't think there's going to be a penalty, frankly. I don't think anyone's going to say, like, you need to leave. But if you were persisting with...
Phenomena.
Again, audience, this is the second time I've had to pause. I've clearly stated the expectations. We cannot comment. It makes it an unsafe environment for someone who has a different perspective. And I will take a break if we need to for you to get yourselves to a place where we can make sure this is a safe place for everyone. Second time I've had to stop. You don't have to stop.
She wants us to do jazz hands. You get me? And that reminds me of the Democrat convention where you had these weirdos kept making up rules for everybody else to follow.
I have already asked people to be mindful of the chatter of their comrades who are sensitive to sensory overload, and that goes double for the heckling and the hissing. It is also triggering to my anxiety. Like, the be comradely isn't just for, like, you know, let's keep things civil or whatever. It's so that people aren't going to get triggered and so that it doesn't affect their performance as a delegate, okay? Your need to express yourself is important, but your need to express yourself should not trump or over... Like,
I see that no one's clapping for me. It could be because I'm not engaging, but it also is because everyone's doing this. And that's really important because those loud bursts of noise, even though this is a noisy space, when we can do something like reducing that, that's really important. So please don't clap, shoot up these.
Come on, y'all.
And what this girl right here don't get is that when people go along with things and they follow these little maybe right now is could you please don't clap, and we go along with that, then it becomes a rule that you can't clap, and then it becomes a law that you can't clap, and she doesn't get that. She doesn't get that people don't know how to just take an inch. They don't know how to just get what they need. They want to get everything that they want, so they take a mile. 1 minute is this, don't do it. The next minute you can't do it, or you'll be thrown in jail. And they never get that.
Even though you've been requested to do something that's not very polite, is it? Like, I think people...
You know, I seriously think that the word polite is a female's word. You get me? That's a woman's word, just like kind. Be kind, be polite. These are female words from weak-ass people who don't want the truth. They don't want to accept the truth of the situation, so they need you to be kind. You get me? Don't tell me. Be polite. Keep it to yourself. Type shit. They don't want the truth. That's why I hate these words, polite and kind. Ellen DeGeneres started that shit. You get me? Just because she wanted to be gay and she thought that if people say she gay, that's not being polite or kind and stuff like that. Look, man, it's not about being kind or polite. It's about the truth. You get me? The truth. You get me? Sorry to spare your feelings. Sorry that I don't want to, but this is what it is.
think people understand if you're requested to do something in a specific context, you can do it.
Would it stop you, Andrew, if you were somewhere and you felt the urge to clap someone and yet they'd said, we don't clap here?
Well, no, it wouldn't. But what we don't do is completely restructure society and completely change societal norms in order to accommodate the sensibilities of a few people.
It's interesting.
Okay, so this guy that's talking right now, I didn't think I was gonna like him at first. For one thing, he didn't have enough bass in his voice. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Listen to their voice. If you talking to a man and he don't have no bass in his voice and he talk all like he talk through his nose or something like that, it's like I don't want to talk to you like it's not. It's like that. It sounds like that. You get what I'm saying? It's like a thing your nose. It's not. I'm not trying to put no bass in my voice. I'm not trying to talk like no man. I wanna sound like a girl as close as possible. You get what I'm saying? It's kind of like Chills. Shit. You get me? Yeah. I didn't really trust him at first, but yeah, he coming on the right side. He must have grew up right or something. He still ain't have a lot of fights. I don't think he had a lot of fights. I still think he kind of weak, but at the same time he got common sense, so that's good.
Interesting. Just reading a story about this on the BBC News website. An individual called Hannah from Weymouth in Dorset she struggles with loud noises like clapping. She was diagnosed with autism when she was 23. She says, I don't agree with a ban on clapping. Instead, let's raise awareness of autism because this could breed resentment if other students start to harbour bad feelings towards autistic people.
So an autistic woman tells her that we do not want this because it will breed resentment. And she's absolutely right. When you start taking rights from people just to accommodate the small minority of people, people will get frustrated. You get me? People, because you did not earn this. You did not earn this respect. You did not earn this privilege that I'm giving you, because that's exactly what it is. When I have to stop worrying about me and accommodate you, that's a privilege that I'm giving you, and you did not deserve that. You stole that from me. Therefore, I don't like you. You get me? When I see you, I don't want to see you. That's the point. You get me? Because you stole something from me and you're making me do something that I do not want to do. Therefore, you're an enemy and I don't like you. You get me? And with people with attitudes and bad behavior, they will push that transgression into a fist. Or maybe, or some type of other punishments. And now you have a bigger problem than just clapping.
Freeze! Everybody clap your hands.
Or perhaps other people who object to clapping. I mean, that is a danger, don't you think? That there are people who would say, why are we banning everything just for a small proportion of people, and blaming them?
I think that's definitely possible, but we shouldn't kind of meet the expectations of those judgmental people.
We shouldn't kind of meet the expectations of those judgmental people.
Okay, do you see what I'm saying? Now, you don't want to meet the expectations of those judgmental people, but you want to meet the expectations of that minority, that small minority of people who are judgmental themselves and feel some type of way about what the rest of everybody is doing. Do you get what I'm saying? You want to meet the expectation of one, but say fuck the expectation of another. Do you get what I'm saying? It's not inclusive. You cannot include everybody in everything. It's like what's the saying? You can make some of the people happy some of the time, but you can't make all of the people happy all of the time. Somebody will always find a reason to be miserable, be pissed off, to have an issue with something. 1 minute their clothes look nice, the next minute those same clothes look bad on side of somebody with some better clothes. Do you get what I'm saying? You cannot please people, so stop trying.
There's a lot of anger towards people with allergies as well. Say on planes, if you're not allowed to have nuts, you'll find people saying, oh, I can't believe I'm not allowed to have my Snickers bar or whatever.
Yeah, but having nuts on a plane is not sort of part of our cultural heritage. Clapping in a gig and in a theatre is just a totally normal thing to do.
She doesn't care. She does not care about what you're saying. All she needs is to get her point across. To listen to you is the equivalent of saying, no, you're wrong. So she will not listen. She will just continue reaching, trying to find some reason why she is right and you are wrong. These people are sick in the head. You get me? They do not work on themselves, but they're so quick to work on everybody else. Everybody else. You get me? That's it. That's really what we're talking about. We're watching this woman try to prove something that is just dumb. That is just dumb. Asking for stuff all the time. That's what these people do.
It's totally normal, but that doesn't mean it can't change.
You know what I mean?
Andrew, is this a sign of the fact that we are accommodating, sort of maybe over-accommodating people who complain about stuff while acknowledging it can cause problems for some people, but not changing?
I think that's what's so worrying about all of this. Actually, it's not just about the jazz hands, the clapping thing. It's about the broader culture. You know, what this is about a broader attempt to infantilise our student body, right? So it ties into things to do with trigger warnings and safe spaces and to basically coddle students when actually what the university is about is educating them for life in the real world. You go into the real world, people are going to be applauding in theatres, at sports events. If you talk to any major sports person, they'll tell you that actually it's the applause that keeps them going. It stimulates them. It's really important.
Greg on Twitter says, honestly, a room full of people with odd expressions doing jazz hands at me would make me feel a lot more anxious than if they were actually clapping. And there is a sense, isn't there? The vast majority of our audience are getting in touch. Very few saying, I think this is a good idea.
Ellen, the fact of the matter is, as you say, you know, perhaps at university people might be okay with that, but they have to go into the real world at some point, don't they?
Yeah, and the real world could change, maybe.
She is a lost cause. Her mind is in an echo chamber. She do not hear anything else. She only wants what she wants. And this is why she shouldn't get it. Because she don't need it.
Maybe we'll become more inclusive, which would be a great thing. I don't think it's a bad thing to be over-accommodating. I think that's lovely. That's something really...
These people do not live in reality. Where they live at, there are sunshines and rainbows, lollipops and unicorns. And they have no interest for the real world. Until they get in a situation where they have to face reality, these people are going to continue to spiral out of their fucking minds. Yeah, that's about all I can take for right now. So, with that being said, bye.